Hey folks, this is TJ Forrest with the Cougar Academy bringing you an overview of the new GED test. Yes, this is a beginning of the tutorial series for the new GED test, and we're going to talk about just the introduction to the new computer-based GED test and what you can kind of expect. Okay, let's get started. So as you probably heard, there are big changes on the new GED test. Let's talk about those. First of all, there's 4 separate tests. In the past tests, there were 5 tests, one of those being the essay or the writing test. This time, there is no writing test. There's the RLA test, which is the reasoning through language arts. That's kind of like the reading test. Then they'll have the social studies, science, and math. No essay test. So that's the good news. You've also probably heard that it's computer-based, which means that you take it on the computer. So they have some nifty things that you get to do, like drag and drop, hotspots. So, you want to be familiar with working with a computer and a mouse, and in particular the interface with the new GED test. And in a later video, and I also will have information on the website to give you kind of heads up on what to expect about that. Also, there may not be a separate writing test for this GED, but there is writing involved. In fact, there's writing on 3 of the 4 tests. The good news is that there's no writing on math, but there is required writing on the RLA test, the social studies test, and the science test. Now, I go into this more in detail, certainly on the website. There'll be courses and posts and articles and ebooks pertaining to this. But in short, on the RLA test and the social studies test, they're requiring an extended response. So you can kind of think about that as an essay. 4 or 5 paragraphs, maybe 6 paragraphs, and of course they'll give you a topic to write on. And then on the science test, they're going to ask for a short response. And you can kind of think of a short response as a paragraph, maybe 2 paragraphs. And they're going to require 2 short responses on the science test. Now, other big changes to consider. There's lots of graphs and charts. Now, you're going to find the graphs and charts on math, of course, but you will also certainly find them on social studies and science. And you might even find some on the RLA test too. And while you're at it, also consider maps. You're going to have to know how to read maps and understand maps. So put that into your study habits. Also, reading comprehension is very important. You might even say that the reading level is going to be a little bit higher than in the past. You're going to be really asked to pull out key ideas. So you're going to have to be sharp with that, and I would even suggest practicing that a little bit. And of course, we'll have information about that on the site as well. You can check that out. That's going to be really key, the reading, and I would recommend start practicing. So if you're not reading already, 30 minutes a day would be great. If you could do up to an hour, that'd be super. You might be interested in the cost. The cost will be about $120 for all 4 tests. Now, the cost is going to vary. It kind of depends upon the testing center, because sometimes they'll require more money because of the testing and the administration of the tests and things like that. So kind of plan ahead for that. If by chance you have to retake a test, retakes will be approximately $30. And I think you're allowed 3 retakes per subject area per calendar year. And as usual, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a future video. And then finally, the subject area knowledge is integrated across all tests, which means that you'll find math on your science test. You'll find math on your social studies test. You'll find a little bit of science in your social studies tests. The RLA, of course, reading, you'll find in all the tests, even in the math with the word problems. So integrated means that the subject areas aren't like in separate tests. It's kind of merged together. And so kind of be prepared for that. Next up in the tutorial series. So the next video, video 2, I'm going to go into each of the 4 separate subject area tests that you'll need to pass to get your GED. And I'll go into more detail about that, about what to expect, how it breaks down, you know, like on social studies, how much world history, how much economics, how much civics, and things like that, okay? So tune into that if you're interested in that. And also in video 3, I'm going to go into a little bit more about what does it mean exactly with the computer GED testing? What's it mean for you? And what to expect, how to be prepared for that. And we'll even take a look at what that interface looks like so you can kind of get an idea about what to expect on the test. All right, so we're coming to the conclusion of this particular video. If you don't want to miss any future tutorial videos, be sure to subscribe to the Cougar Academy YouTube channel. And if you're interested in getting some information about the new GED tips and tricks, a weekly newsletter type deal where I just give you some heads up and some tips and tricks on how to pass and prepare for the GED test, go on over to the Cougar Academy and sign up. So that concludes our video, this one, and thank you very much for tuning in. And once again, this is TJ Forrest with the Cougar Academy. Thanks again, folks. See you next time.